Hey guys, welcome back to Selenium with Java June 2023 batch online training session 10. In today's session, I will predominantly cover on the framework part where you can get to know the data-driven framework also. So what is automation framework and what are the basic concept of automation framework? What is automation testing process? And what are the Java ops concept and how those are interlinked whenever you want to develop an automation framework from the scratch. The top 10 test automation framework available in the industry, data driven framework, and how you can read and read the data from the Excel sheet using Apache API. And reading and writing the data I'll cover in the next session. So what is framework? So as of now, you already seen isolated Java, isolated Selenium part, and basic like TestNG part also covered. TestNG itself a framework, but still only using TestNG or JUnit, which is already kind of integration framework suite, we cannot work much. So we need to follow some other framework concept through which right we can interact with other different utility, right? Maybe CSV or Excel like that. Okay. So and without proper framework, right, maintenance will be very tough, and sometime maybe proper report cannot be generated. So it's pretty much straightforward that whenever you are working for the real-time project, whenever you are having more than 100 test cases, better to use the framework so that like maintenance report can be reduced, proper report can be generated, anyone can write work on your framework, and code also will be understandable. So a framework defines a set of rules or best practices which user can follow in a systematic way to achieve the desired result. In a test automation project, user do perform different tasks by using different type of files to organize and manage all the files and to finish all the tasks in a systematic approach. User use a framework. So what is the objective? That user want to perform all kind of tasks in a systematic approach instead of isolated or haphazard way. Automation framework is not a single tool or process, but it is a collection of tool and process working together to support automated testing of any kind of application. It does not matter that web application or client server or Windows based application. So framework concept will always remain the same, and definitely you can use n number of tools also. Suppose say you are using UFT tool or Tosca, but framework concept will not change much. It integrates various functions like libraries, test data, and various reusable modules. Without a framework, a single test case may have millions lines of code and it will test the entire functionality of the application. Now suppose user need to modify any functionality data time. So is it possible to read the entire code again for a particular functionality? So definitely, even layman can say that answer will be no, because reading so huge number of lines of code or the huge number of test cases will be tough and boring, and user also need lot of time to analyze the entire code. Suppose say today you are working isolated way on a particular, to develop particular line of code or to develop some script, right? Tomorrow, right, you may kind of left the company or you go to the other project, so some other person need to take care, okay, or maybe after 6 month time to like you again came back to the project. Even you that time you will not able to understand the code in case you are not following any framework, because framework will systematically way, right, it will help you to derive the thing, and it will easiest the automation tester live to right identify the problem, to debug the code, and to go for the solution. So there are different type of frameworks available, starting with modular driven, then data driven, keyword driven, hybrid, and BDD or the behavior driven. So modular is kind of isolated mode. And nowadays nobody using, but data driven, right, where you can read the data. Okay, keyword driven means your execution will be drive based on the keyword, and hybrid is nothing but a combination of data driven and keyword. So you can like vary your test data as well as you can like go as per the keyword. And BDD is nothing but the behavior driven development, where you will be using the tool called Cucumber, through which I will be covering the last session, through which even not only the automation tester, everyone can be involved, everyone can give their opinion, feedback, and after that you can convert those things into a test scenario, and then you can also execute them, and you can get the steps, you can generate the better report as well. So advantages, what are the primary advantages whenever you are using the any kind of test automation framework. It saves times and maintains schedule. So automation testing is faster in execution and definitely help to maintain overall project timeline. In case you are using proper framework, so your maintenance effort, your debugging effort, your execution effort, it will be very kind of minimal, and you can save time. And definitely once you are save time, you will be saving the cost, right, or effort, right, and it will help you to maintain the overall schedule of the program. Reusability of the code, right, create one time and execute multiple times with less or no maintenance. So that is the very key important from the framework, that we will be creating the component one time and we can use them n number of time, and in case I need to change anything, I'll simply go to my reusable component. I will update there automatically wherever my reusable component will be called. Everywhere the code will be updated. Easy reporting. Sometime framework, right, in case you are using testng, right, or jvlin, it will definitely generating report, but you can also integrate other reporting structure just like the report ng or maybe the extend report. Easy for compatible testing. It enables parallel execution in combination of different operating system in the browser environment. Low cost maintenance. As I already told, right, in case you are creating the or utilizing framework, so it will differentiate, right, different pages, different functionality in smaller component. That is the way, and other person, right, other tester can immediately learn the thing. And as and when you are using framework, right, you have to follow some standard or practice, so that based on your organization or based on your customer need, so the other person, right, from the customer side, they can review immediately, right, with very minimal go through, minimal knowledge. Other automation tester can also pick up the thing and they can also start developing or contributing in the framework. So overall maintenance cost will be low. Reliability. Automation testing is more reliable as less manual intervention is required. Then repetitive multiple execution for the same set of test cases. So you already seen, right, in using testng, right, in case same test cases you need to use, right, for 10 times, simply you can give invocation count equal to 10. Similar way, right, you can copy the test case 10 times and you can vary the data, so that same test case can be executed multiple times with different variety of the data. Minimal manual intervention. So test script can be executed unattended. Nowadays, everybody is looking for the time cost and saving, right? Times and cost saving. So nowadays, suppose say what happened today, right, last Friday, every Friday the developer team used to do some deployment, say maybe like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Okay, but in case suppose some they are delaying due to some problem, they are not able to deliver the code by 6 p.m., so they are maybe extending till 11 p.m. or 12 a.m., right, maybe, or 1 a.m., right, in the evening. So is it possible to wait for the tester, or maybe they come on the weekend, right, to run it? No. Nowadays what we can do, we can, right, integrate with some sort of CI/CD tool, okay, and then we can kind of integrate it, so that as and when my code will be deployed, right, and in the test environment, automatically your suit, right, whatever suit like smoke suit, sanity suit, regression suit, it will be running, and it will generate the report whether your build has been passed or failed, and automatically without manual intervention it will try to execute the test case and it will try to generate the report, it will share the report to the respective stakeholder. Maximum coverage, it helps to increase the overall test coverage. Why? Because manually, in case you want to execute same test case 10 times, it will be 10 time execution effort, but automation only just creation time of the test script development, but you can vary with 10-20 data combination, right, but it will take very minimal time. So that is the way you can certify more coverage in terms of overall requirement standpoint. Automation framework concept. The couple of key parameter that software tester need to keep in mind while developing the any test automation framework. Handle script and data separately, right, in the last session, right, in the testing you show, you already seen, right, that whenever you are using data provider, your data is in separate entity, your code is in separate entity. In case you want to change the data variation, right, you no need to change your code. So that is the way, right, you can handle script and data separately. Your data can be excel file or other entity or csv or even database elsewhere. Library. Library is nothing but the reusable component. So already mentioned, right, you'll be creating the library, page library or other library, right, you'll be creating the one time and you will be getting the benefit for n number of time usage. Coding standard. Scripting standards should always be maintained across the test automation framework, which will discourage individual coding practice and help in maintaining code uniformity, which makes it easier for software tester and developer to interpret. extensibility and the maintenance. So in case you are using any framework, it will definitely help you to reduce the maintenance effort. So a reusable component can be created which will help in enhancing application feature with minimal effort. Script or framework versioning. So version control is also required. That is the reason, right? We will be use keeping our version in the maybe any object repository, or sorry, any repository. It can be GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, all this stuff, and you can integrate with this part with the help of the Git. Okay, so suppose say today you developed yeah, maybe you already developed 100 test cases, okay, and your version is 1.0, and tomorrow you are giving the walkthrough to the customer, and customer say that these are the changes required. So you have updated the code and you have changed it, I mean you have made version 1.1, and tomorrow after that you are giving the training or maybe demo to the walkthrough to the customer. Again customer is saying that no, whatever I said, that was my mistake, maybe requirement was again moved to the previous one. So just you don't need to any change, your thing code was correct, and you can go to the previous one. But in case you are not keeping the version, right, so again you need to update the code to the previous state. But in case you are having the version, so simply you can go to the version 1.0 automatically, so you no need to change anything. That is the way in case you are creating the keeping the version, so everyone can understand, right, what are the different changes has been implemented down the line, who changed it, right, all this stuff. So version controlling is really important for the framework. What are the type of testing we can perform using this kind of framework? Smoke testing, unit integration, functional, keyword driven, regression, data driven, and the black box testing primarily. Now what type of test cases users should pick up first to automate? So whenever you are developing test cases, maybe your functional, right, your integration end to end, the questions will come that can we go for 100% automation? Can we automate everything, right? What are the type of thing we need to pick up to automate? So questions will be that first you need to calculate the ROI, right? I already mentioned in the first session, ROI is nothing but the return on investment. In case your test cases, right, you need to execute only for one time, there is no point, right, of automating them. Sometimes some complex functionality might be there, there is no point of automating. Why? Because those type of automation might require huge number of time, and you will not be getting the benefit or in the form of ROI. So wherever test cases you will be executing repeatedly, just like the sanity suit or the regression suit, those are the test cases you should focus. So people say that is not 100% automation possible? So my question will be that possible sometime, but due to some complexity, due to some unwanted, right, yeah, I mean error, all this stuff, right, I mean generally we should go to 80 to 90% automation. But in the real time, right, from the regression, say suppose say you already executed 100 500 test cases, and out of which maybe you have, right, gone for like 40% regression coverage, so 200 regression test cases. So generally, like what type of automation testing we need to do? Primarily we try to cover the regression, so that, right, automation wise, right, I can run them in number of time as soon as some build is coming. We can automate, right, the smoke suit, right, for any kind of major minor build, right, we can run the smoke suit, we can validate it, and we can also go for the end-to-end validation suit, where, right, we can run the end-to-end suit, we can find out that any kind of after the fixes, after the new deployment, like my existing end-to-end functionality is not breaking. So what type of test cases users should not pick up to automate? Wherever maybe it will be running only for one time or be really complex in nature, those type of thing you can avoid until your customer is pressurizing. Sometimes customer want 100% automation, they are not worried about their money or like or the dollars. So they want everything, then you should go, right? You can should give the proper justification that this might take additional time because of the complexity in nature, but in case they agrees to pay you, you can go with that 100% also. So automation testing process, there are 5 steps. First one is tool selection, then define the scope of automation, then planning, design and development, then test execution, and the last one will be maintenance. So whenever you will be starting any kind of automation, you need to first go with the POC. Here POC is not the point of contact, guys, it's proof of concept, where you will analyze that what kind of tool is suitable for your application, right, whether the test case already developed, the regression coverage already there, right, and then you can, right, finalize all this stuff. So tool selection largely depend on the technology the application under test or AUT is built on, right? Suppose say in case UFT, right, does not support Informatica, so UFT or QTB, previously known as QTB, cannot be used for testing Informatica application. It is good idea to conduct a POC on the tool on UAT. In case you are going for the web based application, you can go with Selenium. Any kind of language can be used. It can be maybe Python, C Sharp, or Java. In case you are going for primarily Windows based application, you can go with UFT. In case go with the client server base, you can go with RFT, Silk. Nowadays Tosca also can be implemented. So that is the way. But it does not mean that it does not, UFT does not support the web base also. But every right tools is having their base advantage. Nowadays I mean UFT also support Windows based client server based as well as web based application. Initially Selenium used to support the only the web application, but nowadays Selenium right supports the Windows based application with the help of Winium. So it is called Selenium. Selenium plus Winium is combination for the like Windows based application. As part of second step, we need to define the scope of automation. So in case you are going for any kind of testing, you should be having some proper planning strategy, right? Or the test strategy report you are used to create, right? Or yeah, right? Similarly, automation also, automation test strategy report should be there. You need to finalize what to be tested, right? What to be not tested, the scope, okay, all this stuff. Where the features which are important for the business scenario, which have large amount of data, common functionality across application, technical feasibility, the extent to which business components are reused, the complexity of the test case, ability to use the same test case for cross-process testing. So these are the different point, right, which will help you determine the scope of the overall automation part. Then planning, design and development. So you should proper planning that what is the time you'll be taking, how you will be utilizing the resources. Then you'll be going for the design, right? You'll be creating the reusable component, you identify the page, and then you will be adding the assertion point, and that is the way you will be right creating your overall test script suite, right, for your smoke, sanity, regression, integration, end to end, all this stuff, or UAT also required. Then you need to do the execution, where you will be running the test script maybe on the right different browser operating combination, right, or maybe based on your requirement type. In case only the your build is triggering, right, your minor thing is coming, you can go for the smoke. In case major thing is happening, you can go for the regression, all this way. Okay, and as and when you will be executing your suit, right, you will be analyzing the failed test cases, you will be running them n number of time to validate that those are not the false failure, instead of those are the real failure. In case the real issue is found, right, it's time to report that as a defect by the automation tester. They can log as a defect. It will, right, it will certify that some of the thing is failing from the regression coverage. So that way your automation execution should be performed. Then maintenance. So most of the automation project fails because of no maintenance, right? Sometimes everybody focus on the skip development and they are running it and they are providing and handing over to the customer or maybe their internal organization. But in case you are not maintaining them on regular basis, you cannot get the actually the whatever in effort or whatever like dollars you are spending, you will not getting the return. Why? Suppose say today you have developed 100 skip, but after 3 months time, in case you want to run them, right, you can see that all got fail, right? Maybe after 3 months you'll be getting only 3 days time to execute 100 because those are automated, but you find that all are getting fail, and you need to modify that time, maybe that would require 5 to 6 day effort. So you are not getting the benefit of the automation, right, script whatever you have developed. So that is the reason it is always recommended to maintain the script, right, on regular basis, because sometime today you are having 10 pages, but tomorrow you can have 9 pages. Few pages can remove, few pages can update it, your functionality can gone change, your new CR or change request might come for the project, so one field might got changed. So you need to update all your test case of the reusable component. Then only you can get the real time benefit. Whenever you want to run them, you can run them, and you can find a discrepancy, you can log as a defect. So then next part I will cover the Java Ops concept part. So before that I will take a pause. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Yeah, it is. I mean, I did not try it though, but it is called Selenium plus Winium. Okay, that tool name is Winium. You can search in Google, and that is the tool which will support nowadays the Windows based application using Selenium also. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think last 1 or 2 year people are using that one. Yeah. for the using Selenium. But primarily before that come, Selenium only used to have the web based testing only. But nowadays Windows based also possible. Okay, any other questions as of now? Yeah, say, and it will be required APM, right? Yeah, APM. Yeah. So that is the way lot of thing is there, right? Especially the GUI based testing also possible. So few of the thing you need to integrate with Selenium, then only possible. But nowadays that is the reason Selenium came into the broader view. So it is nowadays easily integrated with the other parts to do all kind of testing. And what is the main advantage? Main advantage is the Selenium is still a free source tool, right? And it support lot of programming language, lot of infrastructure, all this stuff. So that is the reason it is right still holding market good. Okay. As part of the next section, right, I'll cover the Java Ops concept. I already covered. Still, I will recapture and I will let you know because most of the interviewer will ask the question, right? What are the Java Ops concept? You can definitely let them know. Then the question will ask that as you already worked in the framework, can you explain where those Java Ops concept and what exactly you have used it? Right? Maybe sometime you will be confused, right? And you will not able to give the response. That is the reason I have tried to cover those theoretical but practical sense you can understand that where you have used. So there are four concepts like Java: inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So inheritance first I will cover. Okay. So it is nothing but the parent-child relationship. Okay. So I'll be giving you two more video for the page object model, which will not be covered here, but I'll be giving you 2 hours video. So you can get the complete understanding of the page object model later point of time. But first now you concentrate on this whatever will be covered. So in the page object model I already mentioned, right? Everything will be page and object. So there will be base class, and then for each and every page you will be creating the page class, and every time every page class will be extending the base class, so automatically all the features wherever is available in the base class you'll be able to access it in the page class. So that is the way the real time that establishment relationship of inheritance will be possible. Then model, yeah, POM here it is called page object model, but whenever I am talking about the POM in the Maven, it will be project object model. Okay, the POM is a design pattern here. It is not a framework, it is a design pattern. There are two type of design pattern: page object model and page factory model. Okay, sometime maybe interviewer can ask, so I'll be giving you two for video reference, you can get the understanding thoroughly. Page object model is the design pattern, and page object factory model also is design pattern, page factory model. And there is another POM in the Maven pom.xml file, right? You have, in case you heard it, I'll cover it in the last session. So it is called page object model.xml file, project object model, and here POM is page object model. Then data abstraction is nothing but the abstraction is nothing but the hiding of the data, right? You already seen kind of interfaces concept. So here you already seen we are creating the object or instance for the web driver interfaces. As the interfaces you cannot directly create the object, you have to take the help from the class. So you are creating web driver equal to new Chrome driver. So that is the way you are establishing the relationship of the abstraction. Then the encapsulation is nothing but kind of wrapping the data into the single unit. So capsule, that is the way it came, encapsulation. So capsule means different gradient, right? Or different gradient, different kind of combination of medicine can be wrapped in a single capsule. So here also encapsulation is defined as wrapping of data under a single unit. It is the mechanism that binds together code and the data it manipulates. Encapsulation can be achieved by declaring all the variable in the class as private and writing public method in the class to set and get the value. Why we are using it? Because in case, right, your class is a public, right, everybody can use them. That is the problem sometime, right? In case you don't want to, right, use by your class by others, you can make it private. In the private class you can write the public method so that, right, they will be using getter and setter. So that real-time example is at the rate find by. You no need to give much focus, so that will be fine. Okay, that concept will be fine because that part nobody will be given to the details. So all the classes in an automation framework are an example of encapsulation. In page object model class, whenever that will be covered, I'll be giving the videos. You can go through, you can learn, right? User declare the data member using at the rate find by, and initialization of data member will be done using constructor to utilize those in the method. Then the polymorphism. Polymorphism means many forms. You already know. There are two types of polymorphism. One is the method overloading, one is the method overriding. What is method overloading? Is nothing but the same method with different argument or different name, right? So you already seen driver dot implicit timeout, right? It can go with second, minutes, hour. Or otherwise you already seen driver dot find element by dot id or xpath or css. So that is the way, right? You are calling the same, right, the method, but you are trying to get the different kind of part, right? So that is called method overloading. Same method you are trying to vary with the either name of method signature, means here the number of variable or the type of variable. That is called method overloading. And method overriding is nothing but, in case suppose say you are having two parent class and child class, right? I already covered in Java, just trying to recapture you. So in case you are having two classes, you are having, right, both the constant method, then parent class method or variable will be override from the child class. So say I am giving you a simple example here. So say I already told you even previously also. So suppose say you are giving some implicit timeout, maybe 30 seconds. So it is generic at the base class. You are giving it so that wherever the page classes you will be accessing or you will be inheriting the base classes, everywhere it will be impacted. Okay, so maximum 30 seconds time it will wait for the page to be loaded. After that it will throw the error. But say you are having 100 pages to interact or to design the test cases, but for a single page you know, or two pages you know, that is not possible to load the page because of the size and other stuff. It might take 2 minutes of time. So what will happen in case you are giving generic base class level 30 second, it will fail it. So what you can do for this particular two pages class, you can create a similar method where you can give 2 minutes or 3 minutes, so that the parent class will be overridden by this child class for this particular two pages, and so that particular two pages will wait for 2 or 3 minutes time and it will not be fail. So that is the way your overriding concept will be covered as part of the Java Ops concept in the real time framework. So that explanation you can just remember and you can try to give in case your interviewer will ask. Definitely, I mean, as a in case I am taking this kind of stuff, definitely I used to judge the people that whether you have really worked in the framework and what is the real concept they have learned it from the framework. That is really important, right? Otherwise, right, on the generic way, in case just you want to capture the thing, that is not possible. So as and when you'll be going to the framework, you'll be learning all the concepts slowly. But yeah, that is the way you can just let them interviewer know that this is the concept, or that is the way we'll be utilizing it, the Java Ops concept or the Java object oriented programming concept, which is nothing but the inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, and other last one was abstraction. Then top 10 automation framework, just I have tried to depict. You can just go through once more time. It will give you high level overview that what different kind of framework is going into the industry. Like robot framework, primarily it is used for Selenium with Python based part. In case your ID also will be changed, called PyTest here. So Selenium support like a lot of ID is integrated data environment, right? Now you are using Eclipse. So in case you are using Java, you can use Eclipse or IntelliJ. In case you are using C Sharp, you need to use the Visual Studio. In case you are using Python, you can use PyTest. So robot framework supports Selenium with Python, right, for this particular web-based testing. Then Selenium WebDriver also is an automation testing framework based on Node.js. Okay. Then Citrus is also open source framework where you can automate primarily the integration test, like where you need to go with different REST, SOAP, all these requests. You can use that one, Citrus. Then Cypress nowadays demanding in the market. So it is a developer-centric test automation framework which make test data-driven development. Then Selenium we are already learning. Then Cucumber will be learning in the last session. So it will support the BDD or the behavior driven development, where Like first you will write the test cases in the form of acceptance criteria, right, and then you will be converting them into the by adding the test step definition class, and then you will be running them using the JUnit runner class and be generating the proper report. Lot of things will be there, we'll be discussing in the BDD class in the last session. Then there are a couple of framework like Gauge, Serenity, Carina, Algae. You can go through it, but most of the thing, right, I have tried to give couple of liner. It will give you the thorough knowledge. So it is nothing to discuss. Just you can go through. It will give you the holistic pictures here. So any other questions from that one topic? Otherwise, the main important part I will going to cover it called data driven framework. How you can read the data from the Excel sheet. Anyone? Okay. No, no. I mean, here it's kind of though it is mentioned, right? It's supporting all this kind of stuff only. So this is the, yeah, one of the most open source test automation framework for the web page. But yes, it's just, though it is a tool, it will support. It called as a framework with a different combination of other processes and the tools, right? So that is the way. So framework is Selenium. So why they are calling it a framework? Because you anyway, in case you are using Selenium, right, in the real time, so Selenium is giving you lot of tools and utilities. Okay, that is the reason they are sometimes calling as a framework, because you are integrating TestNG, you are trying to integrate with the data driven part, right? You are trying to generate the report, and then as a combination, Selenium as a whole is working as a framework. So Selenium framework is a code structure that is used to make code maintenance simpler and readability better. It helps in dividing the entire code into smaller part of the code in a systematic way, which tests a particular functionality. Without framework at starting, right, user had written complete code and data in the same place that was neither usable or not readable. But by using Selenium framework with all the utility integrated, user can create the structure of the code in better ways. So user can keep the test data separate from the actual test cases, which help to analyze and update data easily. It increases code readability, helps to get the desired result in a systematic way, and reduces keep maintenance cost. Without a framework, in case you are having a huge line of code, right, maintenance effort will be huge, and you cannot even inspect the code, go through the code. That is the reason anyway, right, for any kind of project in the real time, right, in case you are having more than 50 test cases, better to use the framework. But in case you are having 5 or 10 or 20 test cases, right, you can decide whether to use the framework or not, right? Because in case your time is there, then you can go for the framework. So primary object of the framework, that framework can be later point of time, it can be integrated with n number of tools, but isolation might be a problem, and sometime in case something changes isolated, that might be time consuming. But it is not like that you cannot go with any without using framework. No, in case suppose in case your requirement is very fast, because framework design might take some time, na, that is the thing. You need to invest additional 5 day 10 day to 10 days time to develop the framework and the skeleton. After that you can add a number of test cases. So then onward you will be having, right, you will be very easy to add those test cases. But sometime your project is saying that no, I would require 5 test cases in 2 days. So definitely that time maybe framework will not be possible. So you can go with the isolated mode. You can very minimal way you can type to add the code, right, without the proper framework. Also you can just try to execute them. So that will depend based on the real time experience. So that as soon as you will be working more and more, you'll be getting more and more knowledge, you'll be consuming the knowledge. So I'll discuss today modular and data driven framework. So modular, in this framework the tester can create test script module wise by breaking down the whole application into smaller module as per the customer requirement and create test scripts individually. What are the pros? Modular driven framework ensure the division of script that leads to easier maintenance scalability. User can write independent test script. Cons. So modular driven framework requires additional time in analyzing the test case and identifying the usable flow. So that is the reason either I can go with data driven keyword or hybrid, which is combination of data driven keyword or BDD approach. So data driven framework in Selenium is a technique separating the test data from the actual test cases. Since the test case is separated from the data sheet, User can easily modify the test cases of a particular functionality without making changes to the code. Data-driven framework is used to drive test case and shoot from the external data feed. The data feed can be data sheets like XLS, XLX or the CSV file. So what is required? So can you, in case you want to go through the diagram, right? What is data-driven framework? So your data will be there in the different entity. It can be database, CSV or Excel file, and your code will be there and your application will be there. So through the code, you are first trying to get the fetch the data, and you are trying to interact with the application. Then from application you can get something. Again through the code you are trying to update your database. So that is the way, right? This is the two-way communication. So in data-driven framework, test data and code are stored separately, and then automation test script is connected with the test data stored in the external file. So what is the advantage? So already mentioned, definitely it will take lesser time for the maintenance effort. Initial time it might take some time, but down the line your code and your data will be right different entity. In case you would require update to any other part, it no need to update the other area. So that is the another important part, right? In case you need to execute same test case again and again and again 20 times, so you can just add 20 data, and so automatically it will be run 20 times. That is the way, right? During the test data creation part, it will give you the very good advantage. Okay, and then what are the primary disadvantage? So any kind of framework, right, disadvantage will be that, right, for initial time you need to invest some good time. So that is the way, right? You need to find that time and the cost associated obviously. Then any kind of framework will be requiring good knowledge of the tools, framework and the programming language of the tester. Until they are having good knowledge, they cannot work on the framework. And sometime, right, in case you want to deal with the external data sources, right, sometimes some problem corruption might happen, so you need to right, handle those very carefully. You need to go through with some exceptions, handle of the exception. That is the way, right? This is the couple of disadvantage of the data driven framework, but which will mostly for most of the framework, but advantage will be huge. So that is the way reason, right? All the times everyone will be recommended, in case your test case count is 20, always go with the framework. You should not go with the isolated one. So framework means modular driven is not a good framework. Data driven or keyword driven or the combination of data keyword which is hybrid, and you can go with the BDD also. So these are the theoretical part. Now I will show you how to implement the data driven framework. Means data driven framework two part. One is only reading the data from the database, right, external data, and at the same time reading as well as writing part. So today I will cover how to read it, and next session I will cover how to read and write along with keyword and hybrid framework. And the last session I will cover the BDD or the behavior driven framework development with the Cucumber tool. So here there is a link provided, right? You could see Apache PY. So this is the Apache PY external library is required to interact with the Excel sheet. So let's go to that site, official site of the Apache PY, and let's try to download all the jar file. So this is the official site, link also provided here. You don't need to type anything. Just go to Google simply. You could see this is the official site of Apache PY. Okay, you can go with the latest version 5.2.3. You can simply go here and you can go with the zip file, right? Simply download it. Okay, you could see something is coming. You can just go in the link HTTP site, and then it will automatically download. You need to unzip it. You need to store in any library, in any of the C drive, D drive, and other stuff. Okay. So yeah, it will open. I don't think any other site is there, or maybe you can go to the site for the download. Yeah, it will take some time to download it. Once downloaded, you just need to unzip the file, and then there is, it will look like Apache py. This is the file. 5.2.3 is downloaded. If you open it, there might be multiple jar files available, right? So all the jar file you need to add to your project. Okay, so let's go to the project first. So this is our project, right? This is our project. So I'll right click here. I'll simply go to the properties. I'll go to the Java build path. I'll go to the add external jars, and I will simply select that poi, right, that particular file whatever I have downloaded. Okay, then you will click here, then all the jar file, this is the symbol of jar file, right? All the jar file I need to associate to the project. So this is the outside jar file. Then again you need to click, you need to go to the all the folder one by one. So here all in the folder jar file is there, you need to add it. You need to go to the next folder, right? So this is the three folder, all jar file you need to add it, and outside folder all jar file you need to add it. So that then only it will work, otherwise it will not work. And that OXML lib. So simply you need to add all the jar file whatever will be coming. So three folder jar file, apart from that whatever is outside jar file, all the jar file you need to associate to your project. So this is your first part. Second part, okay. So before going to the second part, so I already created the in the last session you already seen, right, that how to go with the data driven approach using TestNG. So this is our code, right? We are trying to go open the Facebook page, and we are trying to enter email and password field with different combination. So we have used data provider. Here we have given, right, number of iteration equal to 4 and number of columns I want to inject equal to 2, and username password 1 first, username to password to second combination, 3 and 4 is the third and fourth combination. So that is the we have developed the script. So same script now I want to execute it using Excel sheet, and you could see how easily we can do it. So those part I will update it later point of time. Let's first run it here, the same code, before updating anything. So what it will do, Facebook will open every time it will enter the value from the data provider, username 1 password 1, it will close the driver, 2 password 2, 3 password 3, 4 combination. That is the way, that part we learned in the last session. Okay, now you could already see here we want to run for 4 time, but tomorrow I want to run for 5 time, right? So what you can do, you can just simply update it 5 time. So you no need to touch your code, right? You will be simply updating it here. But you could see some sort of problem and challenges is coming, because every time I need to, right, update it here 4 and then again the value 5. Okay, but in case I am doing it through Excel, right, it will be very easier. I will show you how it is easier. Okay, now if you just, I did not touch my code, I just simply added one more combination of data. So same test case I want to run it for 5 different variation of the data. Okay, so now if you run it again here, run as testng test. So it will be running for 5 times. So I am not touching the code. Anyway, data driven testing is covered here, but our objective is the data driven through external sources, not from the same line of code or maybe same classes. I want to interact from the external sources. I want to keep the data from the external sources. So you could see 5 run 5, no failure, right? And you already seen here result, right? How many combination run. The same thing I want to run from the Excel sheet. So what we need to do? First you'll be creating an Excel sheet, right? This is the Excel sheet I am created. I am paste it in maybe D drive, C drive, or any desktop, right? You can open the Excel sheet. So suppose say these are the 5 combination I want to run it. So what I can do, I can just same thing I can try to keep it here. This is the 5 different combination I want to run it. So this part is my done, right? I've created Excel sheet, I've given the Excel sheet name, and these are the thing I want to run it. So here whatever I have given, I am not changing anything. This is the variation I want to run. So similar way I have filled it here. Okay. Then now forget about any tool. Then how will be reading the data from the Excel sheet? What is the approach? First we need to go to the path where Excel sheet is open. So this is the path, right? First I need to go to here. What is the path? Excel sheet is open. Go to the properties and you can get the path, right? This is the my path. C drive user and in my desktop my Excel sheet open. Then what is the name of the Excel sheet? Name of the Excel sheet is Facebook login credential, right? And the extension is .xlsx. So this is the second thing. I need to go to the Excel sheet name. Then I need to go to the sheet name, right? There might be multiple tab or sheet, right, here in the Excel sheet. So this is my sheet name, sheet 1, and then this is my row number and this is my column number. So this is my cell. So that is the way, generic wise, I will be trying to implement in the code as well. Okay, so I need to first go to my Excel sheet path where it is kept, then Excel sheet name, then the tab name, which tab my data is there, then the row, and then the column. That means it's cell. Now I can try to read the cell and I can try to give the data into the code. So that is the way. In case I want to write the data, again I need to identify new row or new column where I'll be adding the data, and here I can add the data one by one for every iteration. So that is the way you can interact with the Excel sheet. Now, so these test cases I will be implementing using, right, I want to read the data through Excel sheet. So what I'll be doing, I'll be creating a class here. So Apache Poi already added, I'll be creating a class first. Say class, generic class, no need to create any Java class, generic class. So say read Excel data. Okay, so that my class is created. So in case you want to interact with the Excel sheet, so there are a couple of class available in the Apache PY. So you can give some global variable. So first one is workbook, then worksheet, and then cell and row, column, all this stuff. So in case your extension is .xlsx means 2007 onward, so it will be XSSF workbook. In case before 2007, it will be HSSF. So your extension Excel sheet extension will be .xls .xls, and in case it is 2007 onward, it will be .xlsx, right? So that is the way. So I'll be using here as 2007 onward XSS app, and otherwise it will be HSSF. That is the only difference. XSF, then workbook, XSF app workbook. I can create some global variable called WB. Similarly, XSSF sheet, that is the class available in the Apache PY. Say sheet, and here you could see some warning message, error message. So you need to import that class coming from Apache PY. You could see coming from the Apache PY. Similarly, other XSF sheet class you need to import from the right Apache PY. Now I can create a constructor. So why I'll be creating the constructor? What is the method or constructor difference? So in case you are creating a method, so first you need to create a class, right? Object of that class, then only you can call the method. But in case you are using creating a constructor, you no need to right, call that constructor again. As and when you be creating the object, automatically your constructor will be invoked. So that is the difference. So that is the reason I will be creating a constructor to reducing the line of code. So constructor name should be always the right class name, and constructor cannot have any return type. So it will be public access modifier and the constructor name. And here I can provide something called path. What is the Excel path, right? String, it will be string format. Say Excel path. That is the variable I want to pass. Okay. So how I can read the file? How I can go to the path? So I need to use the file path, file class available in Java. File, say new file equal to new file. So that is the way, and here I need to give that argument Excel path. So that is the way I am trying to read the file. Okay, then I can amend because file, so I need to import the file, and as right, and then I need to use like file input stream to reading the file. You already seen, right? File input stream, file output stream, all this stuff. So if I is equal to new file input stream, here I need to give that file reference. So it will be throwing some error, so I need to surround with try catch block first, then I need to surround with try catch block. Okay, this part is done, that part I can remove it simply. Okay, then So I already came to the file, means I already gone to the path. Okay, then in the Excel, so I already gone to the path, then I need to go to the sheet, right? Sheet, this is called sheet. Okay, then I already gone to the sheet, then I will be coming to the workbook, this is called workbook. So I already created the global variable workbook. So here the file, and then here it will be another file input stream, then I will be using WB. So it will be excessive workbook WB equal to new excessive workbook, like that. So I already created the global variable, so I will be using WB equal to new excessive workbook. Here I will be using the reference called FIS. So that is the way I can interact with the file. So again another problem is coming, so I need to again go with the try catch block. Okay, so that is the way it will be solved. So this is the constructor I have created, first constructor. Okay, then couple of more method also I need to create. So this is the first constructor created. That what next method I will be creating, I want to get the data, right? So I already came to my sheet, then I want to get the data. How can I get the data? I need to go to the workbook here. I need to go to the sheet number, right? In case multiple sheet is there, I can go sheet number. How can I get it? Either I can get it through the indexing. So in case you are having 5 sheets, right, or maybe sheets, this is called sheet or tab, right? 0 1 2 3 4, either you can go with the sheet name also. That part I will be covered in the tomorrow's session, in the next session. So both the way I will cover. So here I will be creating a method called public, okay, get row count. I am not giving any data return type now. I will let you know. Get row, sorry, get data, right? I want to get the data. Here I will be providing some argument here, integer seed number, then integer row and integer column. This is the 3 argument I want to pass. Okay, then I already define a global sheet variable, right? Sheet. So this sheet equal to new work sheet, right? One sec. Equal to new, as I define is globally, so that is the reason here, equal to new excessive sheet. And here you need to provide the variable called sheet number. That variable you will passing, that then only you are going to the sheet. Okay, new excessive sheet, sheet, that's fine. Integer sheet number, integer row, integer column. Okay, yeah, it will be sheet equal to okay, sorry, it will not be like that. It will be sheet equal to dow. First I need to go to the workbook, that is my workbook here. This is my workbook, then get sheet add. There will be method called dot get sheet add, right? Here you could see index part. In case you want to give the sheet name, you can go with the string. Here get sheet at which sheet number, that is my variable. Sheet number mean indexing. That is the way you can go to the sheet. Then using the sheet variable dot, you can give get row. So once you go to the sheet, you can go to the row. So what is the row variable? Row. Then dot get cell means column. So once you go to the row, you can go to the cell. So integer you can use, so it will be cell column. Dot get string value, then only you can get the value, string value, cell value. So I'll be explain it. So what is the return type? Return type is data, string. So I can store in some string called data equal to, then this data I want to return, so I'll be using return data. Okay, now what is the I am returning? I am returning data. And what is data? Data is string variable. So the return type of the method will be string here. So automatically error will be resolved. Okay, you could see. I'll explain you, no worry. Then the third method I want to read. So I already in the first method I already went to the path of the Excel sheet and already also went to the sheet here. In the second method, what I am going from the sheet, I am going to the workbook, then row, and then column means cell, row and column means cell, and then that particular string value I want to get it, and that value I am returning through this method, get data. Now question will come, I already get the data, but I am examining all the row lines of thousand row. No. So for that I want to create a method that for how many row data is available, and those row I'll only validate. Wherever blank is there, I will not validate anything. So wherever row data is available, I will try to validate it. So that is the way I'll be creating a method for getting the row count where how many row valid data is there. So again I'll be creating a method public. Okay, method name I can give called get row count. Here again I will be passing called, I want to get the called integer seed index, or again you can give the same variable called integer seed number, that not be a problem at all. So here again it will be double quote. So first here I will be going to the workbook, as I already went to the workbook in the other section, dot get seat at, again get seat at. So here I need to pass the seat index dot get last row number where data is available. So what is return type? Int. What is the, from where it is coming? Is coming from XSF seat, right? Return type is integer, so I'll be storing in some integer. So integer say row. Now I already get the value of row, right? How many? But only I need to again iterate for 1 plus 1 plus 1 until the value is there. So what I'll be doing is row equal to row plus 1. That is the way I want to iterate how many row data is available. Then what I am returning in the method called return, return, return row. Okay. So that is the way method is done. Still not done. Why? Because I need to give the return type. So why I am returning row. What is row? Row is data type is integer, so I need to return the integer. Now three method gone. Okay, so I am creating a class which is read Excel data, where I am defining these two global variable. One is for XSF workbook. So what is workbook? This is my workbook, Facebook login credential, and this is my sheet. So this is the two global variable I am defining. Then I am creating a constructor. Why I am creating a constructor? I can create a method also, not be a problem. Why I am creating a constructor? So that in that other class I am creating a object, automatically my constructor will be invoked. So in the constructor I am passing the path. So this is my path, right? I already shown you. This is the path of the Excel I need to pass. So I'll be using file, new file equal to Excel path. I'll be using file input stream. Then I am going to the, once I go to the path, I am going to the Excel sheet book workbook, and I am trying to read it. That much my constructor will do. So I am going to the path and I am going to the Excel book sheet, or Excel workbook. Then I am creating another method to get the data. So I already came here. Then I am from the workbook I am going to the sheet. I can go to the sheet through sheet index. Here one sheet is there, so its index will be 0. Or I can go with the sheet index name, sheet 1. In case you are having 20 sheet, indexing might get changed. So instead of that, you can go with the sheet name, because sheet name will be always unique. It cannot be duplicate. Okay, in case very big sheet is there in the same sheet. Then I am going to the row. Then I am going to the cell means column. Then this cell means I am giving me the getting data in the string format. So this same line of code I am written. I am going to the workbook and then sheet at, and this is giving me sheet number. Then from this sheet I am trying to go the row and column, and whatever value I am getting the string value, and this part I am returning through this method. So I already got the data. The next question will be coming, that can I repeat this thing for maybe 3000 30,000 line of rows? But no, my intention is that wherever line data is available, I want to read it. So I am going to sit here and I am going to row number where data is available, get cell last row, and I am iterating the row one by one, and then is the way I am getting the final count how many row data is available, and it is my returning the row count, exact row count. So these three part is done. Any questions? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, 35 also have given the because we are creating the object. You already defined the global variable. Yeah. So this is the global variable already defined, na? So without the class or without the variable, how can you define the? Sorry, without the type, how can you define the variable? No, it is not possible. So I have already defined this to global variable. That is the reason for that workbook, right? I am also not creating because it is nothing but excessive workbook equal to new workbook. That is the simple logic of the class, right? Class name then variable name equal to new class name. That is the same thing I am trying to implement it. But as this part I already defined as a global variable, so I am just ignoring it here. I am taking the variable name. Yeah. In case it is not defined, so what I can do, suppose it is not defined globally, and in case you are not defining the global variable, so same variable cannot be used in for all the method, na? That's the problem. So what you can do, simply you can use it like that. It will still work, not error. But in case you want to use that one multiple way, those it will be failing. You could see now it is failing here. You could see again you have to define the variable, and it will be creating the confusion, na problem. So that is the reason I am defining the global variable. No, it is a class, na? Then why? It is a class, na? That is the reason I am creating here. So class variable equal to new class. That is a simple syntax for the creating the object here. And this is the variable how you are getting, because this is giving me return type as string only. That is the reason I am storing is the string. So let's remove it. Yeah. Yeah, as and when you are pressing it, like you could see what is the return type it is giving. It is coming from XSF cell, return type is string. That is the reason I am storing in the string value. You no need to worry about it. So whatever method will return you, that return type you will be storing it only. Similarly, suppose say here, right? Get last row. Why I am storing in integer? Okay, let's remove it. Dot you could see it is integer. That is the reason I am storing in some integer variable. I am not storing by myself, right? I am not giving it by myself. So whatever system is suggesting based on the method, right? Based from the whatever climbing from the element class, I am storing it only. Yeah. Any other question? I think I was having some question. Yeah. Yeah, it will be little complicated, guys. Not very easiest way, but yeah, like you need to go through couple of times. So last five session you need to go through couple of times. You need to practice little bit, 3 to 4 time, 5 time video or document. Then only you can understand. Okay. There is no more easiest way I can cover. Okay. So this three part is done. I have yeah, I have tried to explain it in simple way only. But still complexity, right? I cannot reduce much. Okay. Yeah, and tomorrow, right, I'll cover it another way. So this is the way I am trying to cover it, like multiple ways, so that it will you would be easier, right? You need to know the different approach, and whatever approach you'll be at, like you will be choosing, that is different story. But I mean, I will try to cover the different approach, so that is the way you can easily understand the thing. Okay. Now the same thing, right? I will try to read the data from the Excel sheet. Okay. So I no need to touch here. This is my code. I no need to touch. Only I need to update in this part. Okay. So what I need to do, I will simply remove this part because this is the hard coded value. I don't want to use them. Simply remove it. Okay. Because now I want to get the details from the Excel sheet. Okay. So what I'll be doing, I'll be taking the class name. This is my class name. I'll be creating an object. As and when I be creating the object, my constructor will be invoked, right? This is my constructor will be invoked because this is the same name as the class name. So what I'll be doing it first. Okay. Uh, 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 yeah, that is not required. First object part is not required here. Okay, I'll be creating an object first from the class. So say I can give something called config. Okay, variable name equal to new class name. That is simple way. Okay. Now here what I need to do, I need to give the Excel path name. Okay, so what I'll be doing it, I'll be copying, go to the properties from the Excel. I'll be taking that path. So this is the path only, right? I'll be simply going giving you the simple way. Okay, so I'm not writing anything. So same code whatever yesterday I'm trying to implement the Excel sheet part, Excel database. So this is the part is done. That is my path of the Excel sheet. But that's not all. So I need to give the name of the Excel sheet also. So how can I get it? This is my Excel sheet name slash slash Excel sheet name and then extension of the file. So what is the extension? Dot .xlsx. So you no need to remember anything. So go step by step. Okay. So this part my done and I already created the variable which is invoking my constructor. Means I through the which I already coming here. Coming to the workbook, right? Workbook part. Now I already came here, workbook part. Now I'll be going to the sheet, then row and cell value. So before that, okay, so that's fine. Let's go to that. Before that, I need to understand how many row data is available, right? So what I'll be doing, I'll be going here. So this is the three method I have created. Okay, so I'll be going to that using that variable config dot press dot all the thing will be coming, right? All the method get row count. You could see index seat index. So what only one seat is available. So what is the index? It will be 0. And what it will be returning you? It will be returning rows, integer. Sorry, it will be returning you integer. Because what is the return type of this variable? What return type of this field? You could see returning rows, integer. So same thing I'll be using it here. So I can give some variable name called rows. Return type will be integer. Say rows. Okay. Then this is the object I have created. I am not replacing it same way, but here this part I already know what is my rows, so it will be my rows variable. Okay, down the line I can go with the column also, so I need to use another loop called inner loop. So slowly you can learn in the upcoming session. Here I am trying to write not the column 1, column is 2, I hard coded it, but row part I am trying to write kind of run it, whatever the value it will be there, stat dynamic value. Okay, so this part I have updated. Row column is 2 only and row part is taking the based on the value available. Okay, that part is done. Then I'll be using a for loop for integer I equal to 0. It's starting from 0. I equal to 0. I less than rows, because row is my total count, so it will be rows less than rows minus 1. So I less than rows, I plus plus. Okay, so what is my variable name? Data. What is the array? It is array, two dimensional array. Okay, so this is my variable. First part is my variable, right? I know this is my variable. So here I am giving simply I, and second part is my column name, so it's 2 only, so it's 0 and 1. So this is my 0. Column name I did not hard code it. So equal to, from where the value will take? The value will take, I will take that one config file, then I will call the method. One second. Then config, and then I will try to call the method. One, God, sorry, something, some, it will be rows. Variable, it was rows. So config dot, what is the method name I have created? Get data. Here I need to enter three details, right? Seed number, rows and column. What is my seed number? Is 0. What is my row value? I, now it is I variable I. And what is my column value? Is 0, because 2 column. So that is the way I can get the first column value. So similarly for second column value, which is nothing but the password value, simply I will change it to 1 here, this column part, and here also it's 1. Then my part is done, and remaining thing is already there. Return data. I am not updating anything. Now just save it, and now let's try to run it from here. Before that, let's try to close the Excel sheet, because reading sometime will not be a problem, but still, okay, let's without closing also you can read the data, but in case you want to read and write, better to close the Excel sheet, so that it will be read and write, it will be done, because writing, in case your Excel sheet open, it will not run na. What is the error coming? Okay, Java null pointer exception. Okay, system cannot find. Okay, there is a 2 dot. Okay, you could see system. How you can inspect it? System cannot find the file specified, means whatever file name you given, it is not correct. I have given 2 dot. So that is the way you need to understand why it is failing. Okay, so you could get the desired result. You could see it is giving you the path name, and system cannot find the file specified. So some mistake I have did. So we all human being, we can do the mistake, but that is the way you need to debug your code. Okay, still failing. Yeah, here some problem is there, because try catch block and both the try catch block, it's not the correct, might be. So try and catch might be some incorrect part. Okay, so what I'll do, I will take from the one. So this is the thing, sometimes it get problem, because try and try part. No, no, not that one. No, no, not that one, because try catch block you need to give it 1 second. So this part I will just simply replace the same way only. Maybe try catch block was incorrect. 1 second. Try and catch. Yeah, might be some try catch issue. Otherwise, same thing only. Maybe you need to give the try and you need to catch. Maybe one bracket issue was happened. I'm not taking that risk. Let's close it. Let's try to run it. Just pausing. Yeah. So what I have did, right? We are creating a first class, and then you are defining two global variable, right, for these two class, y XSF book and XSF seat. Okay. Then we are creating a constructor. So what is the important of constructor? In case we are creating a constructor, it will help you to invoke that method as and when you are creating the object or instance. Otherwise, in case you are creating a method, so next time, right, you need to again run it. Okay, that is not required. Sorry, you need to create an object or instance, and then you need to call the method separately. But a constructor, it will be automatically running it. So the constructor, what you are doing, you are trying to go to the path of the file, then you need to go to the seat, right? So with the help of the file input stream, you are going to the workbook. Okay, so this part you are coming in the Excel part, Excel workbook means Facebook credential. This part is coming. After that, you need to go to the seat here. So how you can go to the seat? I'll be creating a one more method, right, for getting the data. First I am going to the seat number, then I am going to the row, and then column means cell, that is called cell, and then I am getting the string value. And another method I am creating, right, where how many rows data is available, those part I want to talk, I mean find out. Otherwise I have to go till the last, right, maybe 30,000, 3,000 row is available. So but I will just only inspect those where the row number value is available. So my, in case I know that my 5 or 6 data is available, so I will only iterate from the 0 to 5, right? So total size, say size is 6, so I iterate 0 to 5. That is the way I iterate, and I will read one by one, and then I will just try to interact. So here this part is not, I don't need to change anything, whatever it is as it is, it will work. And data provider part, I already removed the remaining part. So first I am creating the object or instance for the class whatever defined, then giving the path here, the file path plus the file name along with the extension. I am creating the rows variable, right? So here you are getting the from the row, from the sheet, right, which sheet is nothing but the tab. So first you are going to the path, then the sheet name, then the tab name, then row, then column, and then cell, right? And you are storing the data variable, where you are going for the row means how many row data is available, and column you know just 2. In case you want to go for 3 4 column, you can give the hard coded, but later point of time you will learn how to go with the both the dynamic value for row and column also. Slowly you will learn. Okay, then I am iterating the for loop, and I am trying to go for the row wise, and column part I want to fix 0 and 1 because this is the two part returning the data. And then now if you just trying to execute it, okay, so it will execute based on the data sheet already provided in your Excel sheet. It is driving from the Excel sheet now. Now next time, suppose say in case simply you want to, okay, you want to simply write tomorrow, instead of 5 run, I want to run for 7 times. So how easily I can do it? Here you no need to manually write it, right? Here you can simply drag and drop, maybe 8 times. Okay, so how easily? I'm just updating my sheet. I'm not touching my any of the code. So that is the way your data sheet and your code is into different entity. Your data sheet and your code is to different entity. Remember it. Okay, now let's try to run it for now. So what will happen? It will try to run for 8 times. I did not updated my code at all. Previous day my code was in two part, but in the same single class. But today my code is different class and my data is in different external sources, right? So it will now run for 8 times with the different data whatever I am getting, or it will getting, right, your data is getting from the Excel sheet. Okay, now suppose the day after tomorrow, right, you want to just run for 4 times instead of 8 times. So simply what you can do, you can go and remove the part. So 3 times you want to run. So then how easily, or maybe you want to change it, so you can only change it here, right? Any of the value, also existing value say, and you want to just go for 3 times. So that is the way you can close it. So automatically it will drive the value from the Excel sheet. So you no need to touch your code at all. So you are segregating the thing as much as possible, you are creating the layer as much as possible, so that something is getting impacted, you'll be updating that place only. So that way your code will be much more safer than the other way. Okay, yeah, I will just repeat it once more time, then I will go for any question in case you are having it. Let me recapture it. So a framework is nothing. So framework is not a single entity, but is a combination of different tool processes which will be working together to support automated testing of any application. Without the framework, right, in case you want to maintain the code, it will be very difficult. But in case you are having any framework, right, easily you can maintain the code, you can update the code, you can run them as and when required. So there are a couple of frameworks starting with modular driven, data driven, keyword driven. Hybrid is nothing but a combination of data driven, keyword driven, and BDD is called behavior driven development. So framework save times and maintain schedule. Its reusability of the code is one of the major advantage. Reporting is easily possible. It support like compatibility testing, right? Parallel testing, all this stuff. Low cost maintenance, reliability, repetitive execution for the same test case again and again, minimal manual intervention, and maximum coverage. Like your framework will be handle the script and data separately. You can create the library first and then you can use it n number of time. Your coding standard you need to maintain it based on your organization, based on your customer need, so that right nobody can use their own way, and everybody need to follow the coding standard, so that any point of time in case some other person need to come, right, they can also review your thing easily, and they can also incorporate their changes, right? Maintenance extensive, okay. An ideal test automation framework should steadily support all new enhancement to the software application and allow modification of existing feature with the help of the reusable component that you will be creating it, which would help in enhancing application features with minimal effort. It supports the crypt on framework versioning. I already told you can create the version called 1.0, 1.1, 1.2 like that, and in case you need to go back to the previous version, you can easily go into the versioning. Right? Automation framework will support different kind of testing, starting with smoke, unit, integration, functional, keyword, regression, data driven, black box testing. So what are the type of testing you should pick up wherever you will be using them in number of time, multiple time? Those are the test cases you need to first concentrate. Wherever complexity is required, right? It will be very time consuming. Those are the test cases you can, right? You can also ignore them. First you need to select the tool. So first you need to do the POC or the proof of concept, where you will be analyzing all your test case, you will be analyzing your application, then you will be picking up your relevant tool, what framework, what programming language you can use it. Then you define the scope here, right? What will be tested, what will be not tested, all this stuff, feasibility study, right? Then you need to do the proper planning, then who will work, how, what is the deadline, how you will be planning to complete it. Then you'll be going for the reusable component, creating the page library, right, trying to develop the process with the reporting enhancement, and you'll be doing the debugging and like kind of uh, debugging and other maintenance activity. Then in the final I will be running them. In case of failure, you can like implement the logger part, sorry, not logger part, the listener part. So automatically in case it's fault failure, right, it can go for 5, 10 extra number of time only for the failure one. Then in case of real time failure, you can go with the defect reporting. You can also publish the proper test summary report of the automation suite also. And then maintenance, right? Any changes, update is required, right? You need to maintain the code throughout your journey, otherwise your like automation effort will not be sustainable. So any point of time it can break, and during the actual time you will not able to leverage them. Okay, there are four of concept, right, in the Java, which I already covered, right, how those are used in the real-time automation framework. Abstraction, you already see web driver equal new Chrome driver, as and when you're getting the object or instance from the web driver interface, that abstraction will be there. Is hiding the implementation detail, means it will support the interfaces concept. Encapsulation is nothing but the defining the different ingredient into under single umbrella or capsule. So you can create the private class and the public variable, and those you can access it with the help of the getter and setter method. And inheritance is the parent-child relationship, where you can in the real-time framework using page object model design button, you can create the base class, and that base class you can inherit in every page classes. Polymorphism, right, is nothing but the many forms of a particular thing. So there are two parts: method overloading, method overriding. Method overloading is nothing but method overloading is nothing but same method you can use n number of times with the different signature change. So like divert.find element by id, class name, x all this stuff, or maybe explicit time, implicit timeout by second, minute, hour, all this stuff. And overriding is nothing but in case you are having base class and the child class is having the same method, so your parent class method will be overriding. So in case suppose you know that maybe you have given some implicit timeout 30 seconds, but for few pages it might take 2 minutes, 3 minute time, so you can override in the child class, so that your parent class will not be overridden. Okay, there are top 10 framework like robot, iodriver, ibo, citrus, cypress, selenium, cucumber, gauge, serenity, karen, and algae. So framework selenium also, right, with the different tool utility your framework can be established. It can be data driven, keyword, hybrid, and also bdd also. Yeah, but it is a combination of different tools, techniques. So selenium support lot of integration. So nowadays selenium not only support the web based testing as well as support the windows based testing with the help of Winium tool. Okay, that is the reason sometimes it's called selenium plus Winium combination called Selenium. Okay, and in case you want to go for the mobile testing, you need to use the like APM. There are modular is nothing but like you need to you'll be creating a test script module wise, but that is not much useful in the real time. In case it is more than 20 or 50 test cases, you can go with the data driven, keyword or hybrid or the BD approach. So data driven, your data and your test case will be different entities, so one thing will not impact your other. In case you need to change your test case, you will be just updating your test case. In case you will be just updating your data, you will be updating it there. So in data-driven framework, test data and code are stored separately, and then automation tests keep it connected with the test data. It can be stored in an external file, primarily Excel file will be using it, but few of the project they can use database. Okay, that maybe big story, but yeah. So most of the project, 90 to 95% project uses the Excel-driven data-driven testing only. So for that you need to take help from the Apache PY. All the library jar file you need to add it to your project, then only your thing will be working, otherwise not. So this is the path already given, official site of the Apache PY, to download all the jar file. After download, you need to integrate all the jar file to your project. So data driven testing major advantage means data your code will be together and separate entity, and single test case can be executed n number of time with n number of variation of the data. And then disadvantage for any kind of framework, like time consuming, in case some chaos is there, right, might be some time taking consuming fix it. Your programmer or tester is required knowledge on the tool thoroughly, framework thoroughly in the programming language. So this is the part I have tried to cover it today. In the next session I will cover how to read and write the data from the Excel sheet, and then all the Excel sheet row and column I will be varying it. Instead of hard coding the column also, I will be using two loop. One is the inner loop, one is the outer loop. Outer loop I will be using for the row, and inner loop I will be using for the column combination. And also covered the keyword and hybrid framework, hybrid driven framework, where you can also try to understand how with the help of the keyword also we can do the operation, and also to a data plus keyword driven framework in the next session. And the last session I will cover the BDD approach completely, how to create the features file, how to create the step definition class, how to create the runner class, and how to generate the proper report with the help of the external report. And I will also send you two more videos, right, where you can get the thorough knowledge on the page object model. Okay, so that's why you will be right trying to learn the I mean your or maybe try to learn the whatever is really required to start your journey on the Selenium automation. But there is no end, I mentioned, right? Nothing it's vast, but yeah, whatever will be covered in this 12 session and couple of more videos, that will give you solid kind of confidence to start your journey in the automation. Okay, so that's all from today's session, guys. Thank you.